So very good afternoon to all of you and welcome to State of Play. It's a Thursday afternoon and as always, you know that we'll be here to talk about issues confronting our dearest nation, Ghana. So for many of us, well, you know, we've been asking for the rains. We've said, well, the weather is hot, and as a country that depends so much on rain-fed agriculture, we are consistently asking that question, oh, how about we get some rain so we could, you know, cultivate and all of that. But look, whenever the rains come, and Kojo Brace was here with me, whenever the rains come, they come with tears and sorrows. And this is something that we have known. It's not like in our country, it's the unusual as we have it in other jurisdictions. And so once a while you'd have a hurricane and, you know, there'll be conversations about it. But in our part of the world, consistently in this country, just yesterday, and I know you've been following the news. I know that many of you have been following the news. Brace. So what's the problem? Why is it that the rains that are expected to bring us joy, the rains that we always pray for, end up bringing us tears and sorrows? Just yesterday, I mean, for some residents in the Amoah areas, they complained. They've been cut off. They've seen people dying. And the question is, what's wrong with us? I don't know. I mean, I've been watching the news, and I mean, you're in the newsroom, and I know you've been having these discussions as well. You're just telling me that my hometown of Amoah is flooded as well. What is wrong? I mean, look, before you come in, this is why for me it's actually disturbing, okay? The fact that we've consistently known what we are supposed to do when it comes to these rains, and yet we don't do them. Now, I'm going to share with you some, figures. Okay, this is the state of the country's drainage infrastructure presented to cabinet in 2021. Now listen to this carefully, and let me just share with you some figures that, according to the Minister of Works and Housing, some of the losses we make as a country because of our inability to fix our drains once and for all. He says the economic impact, for instance, of June 3rd, 2015 was estimated at $114 million. That's the World Bank telling us. Now he says there are about 30 drainage catchments similar in size or larger than the Odo Basin. An economic impact of flooding across 30 catchments is $3.42 billion. It is more than what we have gone to the IMF for. That's the economic impact. That's the loss to the country. And it says the potential economic impact across the country is an additional $4 billion. Add it, it takes you to $7.2 billion in total. And this is compared to the $5 billion estimated investment required for resilience. Listen to this carefully. And the minister actually makes a point. I just want to read this other point, and then I'll get to you, because look, I just don't understand why we find ourselves in this problem every year. He says the estimated cost of $5 billion of fixing our drainage network increases each year of underinvestment. And the benefit of investing now far outweighs the cost. The value of assets at risk in the Greater Accra region alone now is $3.2 billion and could quadruple to $12.8 billion by 2050 if steps are not taken now. By extension, the total value of assets at risk across the country could run into tens of billions
of dollars.
Not
even cities.
No. And so you ask yourself the question, why are we still here? But if that doesn't, surprise you, Brace, let me share other things with you.
Okay.
And I want to make the point why it saddens my heart all the time that we come here every day and complain about, things not being done, and nothing gets done in that. Look, this is a letter dated 2nd June 2022.
Just last year.
Last year. From the Ministry of Works and Housing. It's to the Minister of Finance. Said, I hope this application for commencement certificate for 2021 National Emergency Flood Control Program. We refer to our letter dated 4th June 2021 and its attachments on the above subject. So the first time he wrote to the Minister of Finance was in June 2021. A year after that, he has still not received money. Listen to this.
So he sent a reminder.
In the letter, I would share with you other reminders. Let me just read this and then you come in. In the letter reference above, the Ministry of Works and Housing applied for the issuance of commencement certificate to commit the government of Ghana to the tune of 888 million cedis for the implementation of the 2021 Emergency National Flood Control Program to address serious flooding challenges being experienced in the country. As we speak, at the time he was saying nothing had been done. Have you seen any projects going on? Have you seen the projects going on?
So to the question you asked as to why, I think the answer is bad citizenship. Now, the citizenship there is divided into two. Leadership, because they are also citizens, and followership, all of us.
Yeah.
You remember after the 2015 flood disaster that occurred here in around Circle, President John Dramani Mahama pledged some $12 million towards the relief and repair of that effort. Now, there were also some remedial measures that were supposed to have been undertaken. A committee was set up to investigate it. We understand that, one, there was going to be a ban on plastic usage. Do you remember that, that particular ban? We're also going to create sanitation police. We're going to dredge the Odo drain and all of that. Now, another recommended solution was to prevent further tragedy, was the demolition of the illegally erected buildings, particularly known as Sodom and Gomorrah. You remember that one?
But even that,
when they started demolition, there were other issues.
Hold on, Breeze. Is it not the President of the Republic of Ghana who actually directed MMDCEs to ensure the demolishing of buildings on waterways? And the fact that he, the President, is interested in this and would ensure that anybody, any DC who is not, in fact, he says he's going to establish a desk in his office
to handle that. This was just last year.
What happened to it?
Now, the point I was building was to the effect that the proper disposal of waste that lies with us as citizens, we the followers, need to ensure that we build a good habit in terms of disposing our rubbish. Do we do that? Don't we still see people throwing plastic bags into drainages? Don't we see them?
We see them.
They were also saying that our drainage system is outmoded and that they are too open. We need to have the underground drainage system. How many underground drainage do we have here in this country? Have you seen any? Other than the shallow ones that we do see around. These are not the drainage you need to fight floods that do occur in the capital, especially. You need deep underground drainage systems that can really carry a lot of water away. If you can't do that, then you're not serious about this whole wanting to deal with the flooding situation. Now, we have not been able to construct drains that will deal with them. The bigger one we've done is with the Odo drain, right?
See,
constructing this bigger drain, the Odo one, that one is good. But that's also open, isn't it? The ones that connect to them are still open. The ones we're constructing today, now, in this country. I've seen a contract that was executed in 2022. That was open drains. Why?
You know the funny thing?
No.
So this is the statement I referred to. The presentation to Cabinet. Says state of our drainage infrastructure, inadequate engineered drains, inadequate capacity of some drainage infrastructure, for example, undersized culverts, uncontrolled settlement development leading to increased construction in waterways. This is what the President said he had actually, set up a desk in his office to see
to the implementation
of the demolishing of these. We are waiting for the status report on that.
Nothing has happened.
And inadequate detention ponds and wetlands. Why are there inadequate detention ponds and wetlands? Why?
Because people have taken over them.
Oh, okay. So we know.
How we know?
Okay, solid waste disposition in drains.
Like I mentioned.
We know them. And look, if you look at this particular presentation, he shows everything and talks about how the government has invested. This was in 2021. So from 2017, we had invested some 450 million Ghana cedis in the drains. But this is the worst part. So you see, I told you that he sent a letter in he said his first letter was dated June 4th, 2021. Okay, let me take you to, so on the 2nd of June, he was reminding the minister. Okay. Now, let me take you to August 2021, 11th August 2021.
Okay.
He wrote again, requesting the release of those funds. He didn't get it. Okay? So this is a letter he wrote in 2021, June. By 2022, June, he had not received anything. And mind you, he actually told us that anytime we delay, we're incurring more cost.
Yeah. So Winston, it points to one thing, that government itself is not serious about dealing with this flooding situation.
You're right.
Yeah. Because look, the hardest one was in 2015. The one that brought a lot of grief to Ghanaians was what happened around Circle. It got the nation to think that, no, this is time we change our attitude to that. What has happened 7 years, there's 8 years, 8 years down the line. I was shocked when in 2021 I saw a construction of drainage and it was open and very shallow. I was like, what do we do to ourselves as a country? That we know we are a country that has a lot of flooding situations. You're constructing a drainage system in this modern age and it's shallow and open. Why? Who does that? The report to cabinet says that what? Lack of well-engineered drainage. So who is giving contract for the drainage system that are being constructed?
Very good question.
It's not the same government.
A very good question.
So you know the solution, you know the problem, and you are still embarking on the same things that have not given you the relief. So what are you doing? If we want different results, we cannot be doing the same things and expect that the results will change. It won't.
You see, these people, and this is the part that saddens me, that we live in a country where our leaders tasked with the mandate of ensuring improved livelihoods, giving the largesse of the state.
Why the improvement?
So they would not take our monies. We say because we believe that if we treat them well, they would stay away from being corrupt. And I'm sure your perception will be different. I mean, the Corruption Perception Index will tell us how well we are faring as a state. And so we insulate them from all the problems of the country. And they pay us back with indifference. They don't care.
No.
Because I just can't understand why a finance minister will consistently refuse to release funds.
For such a
finance minister whose job it is to check the well-being of the state. Now, my little understanding of accounting and finance is such that if you have this cost in front of you and it will take you less to deal with it, so you're looking at the total cost over a period and you're looking at how much you would invest to avert those challenges. You certainly, and so if we're told that over a 5-year period, you should be investing some $5 billion even. And so the first year, give us this money. Why wouldn't you do that? Yeah. Why wouldn't you do that? Why would it become so difficult for us?
It shows how unserious we are to dealing with this challenge. Yeah, and that's what my take will be, that we are unserious people led by unserious leaders who care.
Oh, we are not unserious people.
Okay. Maybe we are serious, but our leaders for what's happening shows that they are unserious.
But upon a second thought, I can agree with you. I mean, you get the kind of leaders you deserve
based on the people from the kind of we vote for them.
Yeah,
so they represent who we are.
So you see, this is why for me, today, the president and the ministers should not be touring flood sites.
No, they shouldn't.
Flood sites again.
They shouldn't.
Because it is very clear that we have failed these people. But even as it's clear that we have failed these people, I now want to address even us. What in God's name would push you to go and actually settle in a place that is designated as a water holding area? Yeah. What in God's name would push you to actually feel, and look, where I live, I have seen people filling areas, the wetlands, I see them filling them. Yeah. The groves, I see them filling them. So they build houses there. Water, like we say, will find its course.
Oh, sure.
Water, will say, will find its way. So if you decide to do the wrong thing, yes, we expect governments to construct the right drains. But yesterday when I drove around my area, I saw basically every road in the area flooded.
Yeah. Because
basically
all the
every road in the area
have been filled with buildings.
So I told them, you see, I was working with the works engineer.
Okay.
And I said, engineer, so is this what you will have supervised? He said, oh, you know where I used to live? There was no, flooding. In fact, my frontage never flooded. until somebody built in a waterway. And as the water began to find its course, it found its course around my house. And so today, my front floods. But I asked that simple question. Now, who caused them? Whose responsibility is it to ensure that we plan? We have national land use
and spatial planning
authority.
Yeah.
We have our land use and spatial planning guidelines. We have a land use act. We have a zoning and special planning guidelines, which will tell you where, we're supposed to put up certain kinds of houses, where we're not supposed to put certain kind of houses, where we have recreational centers. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So you see, it is, that's why I said that it is two ways. Us as a people need to be blamed, and our leaders need to be blamed as well, because like you say, someone has built in a waterway, isn't it? The person knew that the place was a waterway, but deliberately bought it and built there. And the person who is also now the assemblies have a committee. It's not only one person that gives permit. So it's a committee made up of a lot of heads who decide that, okay, let's give permit to this person to build. Those committee or those members on the committee looked on and allowed the person to build. When he was building, I'm sure we have people called the building inspectors. Do they really do their jobs? And someone will say that, well, how many are we? If you don't report, even when we report, what do? We've seen buildings that, were not in proper places. You report to the assemblies, they go there and nothing happens. The person will complete the building and that's it, because some monies went somewhere. There's one critical one that I know in the Western region, and opposite St. Mary's. You know this place very well. That place is a huge water reservoir. It used to be when I was a young man or a young boy. Then someone with money bought the place and filled it and constructed a huge yard there. What happens then? Now, anytime it rains, the place floods. And once it broke the wall to the senior high school, for the very first time last year, the whole place flooded that cars could not move and come. So people had to walk through the water. And some cars were even washed away because the person has filled that place. Didn't the Hunter's Assembly know that this was going to be the case? They knew it. But what did they do? Someone sat there, took money, and watched on consent. So the person put the building up, and that's it. So you blame the person who bought the land and blame the assembly as well. Unfortunately, some of these officers will say, well, I'll come and go, but the problem will be there. So whose work is it to ensure that everybody we have given certain types of job to are doing what they are supposed to be doing?
But that for me is the problem.
They are not doing the job.
Our attitudes are always problematic.
Yeah. The way we respond to situations, is problematic. Now, we know that this is a country that when it rains, especially in Accra, floods do occur. The president says, go and break buildings in waterways. And what happens? We sleep. It happened just I think when he gave that order, some few days, some assemblies did some, tearing down of structures, but that's it. Nothing else has happened. People continuously build in waterways because they know that nobody will do anything to them, especially when the person has some clout. But don't you know me? I am this person and that's it. He'll build it. So until as a country, we start to be robust in implementation of our own guidelines, we will never get the desired result. Today, people are suffering. The government, president, mayors, and chief executives will walk around and say, oh, we commiserate with you. We'll ensure that next year nothing happens. It will still happen again. Like I've read to you, since 2015, we started to do, we decided we implement certain
look, we've done the Greater Accra,
resilience project,
integrated resilience integrated project, the Garrett project.
Nothing's happening.
It's here. We talked about the much anticipated Conti project. Nothing happened. Look, it looks to me as though this is a country that talks and talks and talks and talks when there are crises.
And that's not.
The moment the crises are over, we forget everything and move on to the next situation.
Yeah.
So today we are faced with flooding. We will talk about it. Tomorrow, another issue comes. Then we forget the promises we made.
Yeah.
But we have consistently been telling government, these are the promises you made. So why don't you fulfill these promises? But also, you are the ones suffering. Why is it so difficult for you to move away from this place that is causing you so much pain? Why must you consistently be doing the wrong thing. But you see, this is why sometimes, yes, our attitudes are bad. Our attitudes are bad. But it is the reason why we put in place measures or vices. It's the reason we enact laws and put punitive measures in place so that if you go contrary to the provisions of the law, we punish you and to deter others from doing it. So while we would always talk about the fact that, we have a problem here and there, our attitudes are bad. Yes, attitudes are bad. Nobody's running away from our attitudes. But it's the reason we have laws. And it's the reason we must be cracking the whip.
But have you forgotten the same attitude that the people who are in authority who should ensure the implementation of those laws are having? The same attitude of, oh, this is my brother, this is my sister. The same attitude of, oh, well, he has nothing, nowhere to go. That's the same attitude. But who says we don't build in waterways? We can, like other countries are doing. But you need to ensure that you construct your building in such a way that you allow the water to flow if you have the money to. So, for example, if you have to fill a place to construct and you have money, why not raise your building and give pillars so that the way for the water to flow is still maintained? Then anytime it rains, the water can have a way to just flow into its natural stream or habitat, but we just block it. So until the building inspectors say that, well, if you have to build in a waterway, we would inspect your building structure to say that, do you have the means to raise your building to allow the water to flow? I mean, that is the engineering the report spoke to you about, isn't it? When we say that we have lack of engineered drainage, so we can also say we have lack of engineered structures. So if I'm building in a waterway, the minister or the inspector should ensure that, oh, Kojo's building is up such that when it rains, the water can flow freely. Until we do that, we will never get anywhere. When we watch on for me to build anyhow and block the waterway, it will spill and destroy someone's building. We're not thinking about that. So really, it's the same attitude. Because with the attitude that, if I do it, the same attitude that I one day occupy the same position, and I'll do the same thing to the person, isn't it? So it is something that we as a country should sit down and say, if I see a waterway, I won't buy it. But like you say, human beings are human beings, they will. How about the person selling? Why shouldn't the person selling also say that, well, this is a waterway, I won't sell it to you? Or unless you are able to show to me that when I sell it to you, you have the means to construct your building in such a way that it will not cause a problem. If we're able to do that, I think we can build in waterways. But because we are not, and because it's expensive, we take the cheaper way by failing it. And that's what is creating problems for us. I don't even see, because of the way I think our lifestyle is, I don't even suggest we allow people to build there, because when you tell them they should feel, they won't feel any, they won't do the right thing. So look, it's very simple. Today, I know a lot of areas which were supposed to be water holding areas. And we have blocks there. Yeah. We have concrete in all of these areas. And you ask yourself that simple question. So what happens when it rains? Not so long ago, the Ramsar site, we said we were supposed to go and demolish in the Greater Accra Regional Minister. He was all over the place saying he was going to demolish buildings. He started. Then what happened? He says, oh, now we are going to give them a chance to go through. But the other point about attitudes also today is that, look, everybody thinks that the best way to live is to tile his or her home. So now there are no greens there which can actually hold a bit of this water. Everywhere we're passing these days, full of concrete. In fact, I know an estate where the roads, where they didn't even use bitumen, they used concrete. Okay. The whole estate, concrete. Yes. They didn't want to use bitumen. I don't know. You go and check their drainage and it will be shallow. The frontage of the estate floods. The frontage, anytime it rains, you would have the front of the estate flooding. And so you ask yourself the simple question, why are we doing this to ourselves? For me, that's the most important thing. Why are we doing this to ourselves? So from what you read earlier, do you then agree with people who say that, Ghana is a country of beautiful policies, beautiful paperwork, but less implementation? Like, the cabinet knows what we have to do, isn't it? From what you read, they know that we have to ensure that we are constructing engineered drainage. Isn't it the case? Are we doing it? Are we ensuring that that's what we are doing? They know the things that we need to do. If you have to ban the usage of plastic because of the attitude of the people, why can we not do it? And you know the other funny thing? Why? In 2019, wasn't it 2019 that the government went to launch the Pualugu multi-purpose dam? Yeah. That said it was the single most expensive investment in the whole of the northern part of the country.
and that it were going to convert the floodwaters into irrigation and power and everything. In how many years? 4 years. Today, go to Palugu, and the Palugu story would explain to you how we play lip service to everything in this country.
Oh.
I say cry the beloved country because the people that you've put in place to actually think about you, unfortunately, are in there. They're not thinking about you.
No.
What they're thinking about is themselves and their future generations, leaving you to struggle all the time. But of course, you will definitely have a role to play also because now you're on your own. And if you're on your own, you do the things that are right, okay? Don't engage in wrong things. Let's check our attitudes, and I'm sure we'll be better off as a people. That'll be all from us. Do have a lovely afternoon, and catch you next week.